Hello and welcome to Return to the Forest, a Little Bear rewatch podcast in which we analyze the hit 90s TV show written in part by best-selling author Suzanne Collins. I'm Oona.
And I'm Nate.
And today we'll be covering the first two stories in episode 10 of season 1, which are Duck, Babysitter, and Little Bear's Band. What did you think of these stories, Nate?
I always liked this episode because this is when Emily finally meets the rest of Little Bear's friends. And it's like it's like getting the band, like literally getting the band together.
Yeah, it's really cute. Duck Babysitter starts with Little Bear walking with a picnic basket when he runs into Emily, who thanks him for inviting her to his picnic. She expresses anxiety about meeting Little Bear's friends, saying, maybe they won't want a stranger there, and he tells her, you're not a stranger, you're Emily, which I'm sure does wonders for her social anxiety.
Yeah.
Thanks, Little Bear.
There's an outtake where she's just like, Little Bear, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
They continue to the picnic and find Hen, Owl, and Cat arguing about where to put the picnic blanket. Cat and Hen let go, causing Owl to topple backward, and the blanket lands on top of him. Little Bear introduces Emily as his, quote, new friend, and the others greet her. So here's a weird timeline thing.
Ooh,
In episode 9, you'll remember Owl clearly knows Emily. So I think that this episode is actually supposed to take place before the previous one. And I'm like, why would they do that?
Yeah. Was it like a seasonal thing? Like, did this air in the summer? But it would be all going at the same time, so never mind.
Yeah, like if they put the episodes out in order, why would they have the stories are out of chronological order?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
What does it all mean? We need like a cork board and string and little cardboard cutouts of animals.
That's the next step to...
Yeah.
That's how we take this podcast to the next level.
Yeah.
Kat asks about Emily's doll Lucy, and instead of saying something...
something normal.
Yeah. Kat... Hold on, because I literally have that written. Kat asks about Emily's doll Lucy, and instead of saying something normal, like Lucy is Emily's friend or whatever, Little Bear explains that she tells Emily things. Which is kind of ominous as fuck, if you ask me.
I'm glad that it wasn't just me who thought that. I was immediately like, okay, so that doll is either like a regular imaginary friend or like the Antichrist. And we don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've asked you this yet on the podcast, but like, where do you stand on the whole can Lucy really talk thing?
I feel like it's a more interesting story if she can't talk and Emily is just like creating this third party to be responsible for a lot of her decisions. Mm-hmm. Like, I've heard the term outsourced conscience, and I like that. I think if Emily can talk, it's just like another, not that silent characters aren't very fun, but it's like another silent character whose actions we interpret by how people react to them, as opposed to like a look into Emily's twisted psyche. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that Emily is just like pretending that Lucy is talking, but other fans might have different headcanons, and that's like totally valid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you think that she's really talking, like, don't listen to the podcast, but it's all good. No,
we can all have our opinions.
Yeah, even if they're wrong opinions.
Actually, did you know that on the Little Bear fandom wiki, there's a footnote on Lucy's page that says, it is possible that, in fact, Lucy does not talk, and Emily only pretends that she can hear her. However, for the purposes of this encyclopedia, we shall trust what is demonstrated to us by the show, where, often, Lucy's musical motif is played to represent her talking, and only thereafter does Emily comment on what she has said, implying that Lucy does indeed talk.
That's like, I first of all, I love that. Like, we are trusting the Ken of the Little Bear TV show. Second of all, that reminds me of the parents from Charlie Brown. Who like, wah, wah, wah.
Oh, yeah.
Side note, totally unrelated, but when I was learning viola in 4th grade, my teacher brought in an electric viola and showed us a filter that could make that exact sound.
Ooh.
So
I always thought it was more like a trumpet sound.
Oh, that would make sense. Maybe it was trumpet, that'll be relevant later. But maybe it was a viola filter to make the viola sound like a trumpet.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. But what were we even saying? Anyway, I think Lucy could really be short for Lucifer and nothing about the show would change. We just don't know.
The truth come out. Does Lucy is possessed.
Does Lucy is possessed. We need the McElroys on here.
Mm-hmm. Haunted Doll Watch.
Haunted Doll Watch.
No, I love that the wiki is just like for the purposes of this encyclopedia,
Right,
like we need to establish a baseline.
We don't have time to unpack all that.
Yeah.
I just can feel the ghosts of like 5,000 different edits arguing back and forth, and finally somebody's like, for the purposes of the show, she's real.
Yeah, exactly.
Forum locked after 10,000 pages of debate.
Emily holds Lucy up to her ear, and Kat says he can't hear anything, but Emily conveys that Lucy thinks Kat is the handsomest cat she's ever met. Predictably, this wins Kat over. Duck enters the scene while trying to wrangle 3 ducklings into a line. They don't listen to her, and the troublemaker of the group, Lil Peep, goes to say hi to Emily, who thinks she's cute. Are you familiar with American rapper Lil Peep? Rest in peace.
Yes. And the whole time I was like, haha, it's the same.
Literally the whole time I was watching this episode, I was like, Lil Peep, like the rapper.
I don't think I've ever even heard a Lil Peep song. I just know that he's the rapper.
I have listened to some. I'm not like a huge fan or whatever, but I know of him.
He was like kind of emo, right?
Yeah, he's like emo rapper, which is a fun combo.
Yeah, like 21 Pilots kind of.
I feel like people will get upset if you say that 21 Pilots is rap.
That's fair. Like the rap equivalent of 21 Pilots. The slam poetry ukulele group.
Yes, exactly.
Also, you could edit this out later, but I want to see, I think it's highly unlikely, but I'm going to go on his Wikipedia page and see if he got his name from...
Dude, I already did it.
Oh, fuck.
What do you take me for?
You're so right. Every step of the way on this, I've been like, I'm going to look up what kind of instrument Owl's playing. You're like, I'm not even fucking around.
Yeah, literally. I do my fucking research. This is my podcast.
Yeah. And that gives me more time to try to find this fucking mime that's haunting me, and I'm not going to explain that anymore.
Yeah, no, I looked it up because I really wanted to know if Lil Peep, American rapper, named himself after this cartoon duck. And he actually, it's not this. It's not from this.
Okay.
He called himself Lil Peep because his mom nicknamed him Peep as a baby.
Oh, that's cute.
But literally every time they say Little Peep in this episode, I thought of the rapper.
Yeah, we need like an AMV.
Lil Peep to Little Peep?
Yeah. Or what's the word? Is there a word for music video where you like Photoshop somebody into the...
Oh.
Like we need little...
I feel like that counts as an AMV.
Okay, we need a Lil Peep. First of all, we need Lil Peep the man photoshopped into this episode.
Uh-huh.
And second of all, we need Lil Peep the duck photoshopped into a Lil Peep music video.
Oh my god, yes. Someone out there should definitely make this for us.
If anyone knows how to do any of the things that you need to do for that, do it, please.
It's up to you. It's in your hands. Duck comes over with the other 2 ducklings under her wings and introduces herself. When Duck finds out that Emily is Little Bear's friend, she says, "I'm Little Bear's friend too. I guess that makes us friends," which is not at all how it works.
That's like the opposite of the enemy is my friend.
Right.
The friend of my friend is also my friend. It's a nice world to live in.
It's a nice world to live in, but I definitely have friends whose friends I would not be friends with.
Little Bear, we don't see it, but Little Bear will use an off-screen. Everybody's just having that awkward moment when your mutual friend is gone.
Yes, oh my god. Emily's like just on her own with Lucy.
Yeah.
Everyone's side-eyeing each other.
Lucy's talking shit, but nobody knows what she's saying except Emily.
Yeah.
She's like, Lucy, I'm sure they're perfectly decent animals. I'm sure they won't do that. Calm down.
Duck explains that she's duckling sitting for Mother Duck and asks if the little ones can join the picnic. Hen says they have to mind their manners, and when one duckling catapults itself into Owl's potato salad, he says they need to stay out of that.
Good boundary setting.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Also, I like that everybody's just bringing more people to this picnic. Like, Little Bear's like, I'm bringing my 2 friends, Emily and Lucy. Duck's bringing her entire extended family.
Yeah. Kat asks if Duck can just leave them in a puddle somewhere, which is harsh, but then he picks one up and licks it, expressing how sweet it is. Not a good look, Kat.
Lola would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, Lola wouldn't even hesitate. Sorry to all the duck fans out there, but Lola would. There would be a fury of feathers and then nothing.
That's just nature.
Red in tooth and claw. Oh yeah, I like how the beginning conflict of where to put the picnic blanket is never resolved.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, they never come back to that.
It wasn't that important.
Once the ducklings show up, there's bigger problems.
Yeah.
We have bigger problems.
Now. Do you want me to explain the context for that?
We can skip it.
Okay.
Duck takes the duckling away from Cat, and Owl suggests they play a game of croquet. Duck stays at the picnic blanket to keep an eye on the ducklings while the others play, saying they can't be trusted around food. But then she notes how good Owl's potato salad looks. The ducklings get bored watching them play, and apparently so does Duck because she starts gobbling up the potato salad.
Just beak straight in there. No respect.
Yeah.
I would not invite her back to another picnic.
I know, right? While they're not being watched, the ducklings enter the croquet game to cause havoc and roll the balls around. Duck finally notices and comes over to stop them, but they just end up rolling the balls at her, so she slips and uproots all of the croquet wickets by accident. Owl declares the game to be over, and Lil Peep rolls away laughing. She falls into the pond and swims away. Duck apologizes to everyone, and the group retires to the picnic blanket to eat. Duck beckons the remaining two ducklings, not noticing the absence of Lil Peep. Owl examines his potato salad and remarks on how he thought he made more. Duck quickly changes the subject to ask Cat how it's going tying little napkins around the ducklings' necks. He has an extra napkin, and that's when they realize they're missing one duckling.
First of all, I love how long it takes for them to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, like there's not even that many to keep track of.
Yeah. Second of all, I like that Duck tries to create a distraction and immediately makes a worse problem.
Yeah.
Or, like, uncover. Third, this is a continuity error to add to the. Where did you find like the list of continuity errors for each episode?
On the fandom wiki.
Okay, on the fandom wiki. This is a continuity error to add to the fandom wiki. Duck clearly attempts to count her siblings, but in the very next segment of this episode.
Dude, I wrote that. That's in the continuity errors list for the next story.
Oh my god! I gotta stop jumping the gun here.
No, that's so good.
Anyway, someone should have been fired for that blunder.
Duck freaks out and exhausts herself with worry, and the group promises to help find Lil Peep. Cat thinks he sees her in a log, and when he goes inside and rolls it down the hill, it turns out that it was just a skunk. Lucy suggests they think about where they themselves would hide, and after Owl says a tree and Hen says a barn, Little Bear realizes that ducks like water, so they should go look there. And I was thinking, like, if you do think that Emily is pretending that Lucy is talking and Lucy is not actually, like, giving her this idea, Emily had this idea herself, and then she gave the credit to Lucy. And I'm like, girl, like, express your own opinions. You don't need to, like, hide behind this doll.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many situations where Emily does, if she's using Lucy to, like, say the things that she doesn't want to say for some reason. But I feel like in this instance, maybe it's just that she doesn't want to, like, embarrass her friends by suggesting something obvious. So she's like, it wasn't me, it was Lucy.
Yeah, that could be it, I guess. We cut to Lil Peep playing on the lily pads in the pond. When they find her, she looks guilty at first, but then Duck just says they saved her some potato salad, and all is well. Back at the picnic blanket, the ducklings gobble up their potato salad, and Emily expresses again how cute she thinks they are and how much she loves baby animals. The story ends with Duck saying, "So do I, as long as I don't have to babysit them." Owl asks for the potato salad, and Little Bear breaks the news to him that there's none left. And that's how the episode ends.
The subplot of the potato salad, finally.
Yeah, the B plot.
Yeah. First of all, I don't know about you, but Emily saying I like baby animals gave me, like, for no reason, but such a weird vibe. Like, it's more specific than babies, but it's less specific than baby ducklings.
Oh, that she's just, like, blanket, like, all baby animals are cute. I didn't get that vibe, but it does have different connotations in a world where animals can talk.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. But I think that was just, Suzanne Collins is just like, okay, animals, we can end this.
Yeah, exactly. Let's end this plot. The B plot of the potato salad reminds me of, like, Owl is like the cabbage guy in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh my god.
Because he just keeps saying, like, my potato salad. Just like cabbage guys, like, my cabbages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he reminded me of.
They're both just eternally on this earth to suffer.
Yeah. Tormented by the loss of their food items.
Yes. They're too attached to material possessions, and so the universe is like, you must learn, but they never learn.
The moral of the story is don't be attached to your food items.
Yep.
That can be destroyed by children. All right, let's move on to the next story. Little Bear's band. It starts with Little Bear trying to crack walnuts for Mother Bear to cook with, but they keep popping out of the nutcracker and rolling onto the floor. And I'm like, pick those up.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, it's not like they're bad because they're on the floor. They have a shell. Like, there's no 5-second rule. Go and get those.
Mama Bear is just like, you keep at it, Little Bear.
Someone's gonna slip on one of those things.
Yeah.
He finally gets one open and drops it into a bowl. He asks if his mom needs more, and she laughs, saying yes, they have lots of guests to feed at the party tonight. Little Bear asks why it's called a golden anniversary party and if everyone will be dressed in gold. Mother Bear explains that his grandparents have been married for 50 years, and that's their golden anniversary. In the next room, Father Bear is playing his old trumpet that he just found. Mother Bear explains that he used to have a band. Quick, what was Father Bear's band called?
Ooh. See, the first thing that came to mind is Barely Legal, but I don't think that's
No,
good.
I like that.
Okay, good.
Little Bear picks up a record from a stack and asks if they're from his band, but Father Bear says no, they're for the party tonight. Little Bear suggests they put one on and dance, and they get the record player going. They all dance together until Father Bear accidentally knocks the record player over and it breaks. Mother Bear says Raccoon will be at the party and he's good at fixing things, so maybe he can help.
Do we think that Father Bear tripping and bumping the record player is a callback to all the walnuts on the floor?
Oh, maybe he slipped on a walnut.
Yeah.
Maybe one rolled all the way into this room and he slipped on it.
There are consequences for your actions, Little Bear.
Face consequences.
Also, I just need to interject real quick that Papa Bear is a DILF. Father Bear, I mean.
Papa Bear?
You know, Daddy Bear, whatever.
Oh my god. That was his stage name.
Yeah.
In the band.
And then he met Mama Bear and she's like, okay, I like that, but we're going to have to change it up eventually when we have a kid.
Yeah. So Little Bear takes his dad's trumpet outside and plays it while he walks. We cut to Emily, Owl, Cat, Hen, and Duck, who are playing hopscotch. So this is kind of big. This is the first story that has Emily in it without Lucy.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, we haven't seen Emily without Lucy so far.
I wonder if it's like that she's becoming more comfortable with Little Bear's friends.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, what does this mean for Emily's arc?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like the first story where Lucy is just not there. And there's no explanation.
Right. The explanation is like she needed her hands free to play an instrument.
That's true. That's exactly it. And they couldn't have a doll play an instrument in the band. So they were just like, we'll just leave her out of this one.
They thought we wouldn't notice.
Do they think we're stupid? They hear Little Bear playing the trumpet poorly, and Owl wonders if Moose has a stomachache again, which is like a sick burn.
Yeah.
Little Bear enters the scene and explains about his dad's trumpet and band. He says he's going to make his own band and invites everyone to join. Little Bear says, let's play, and Emily has to remind him that they need instruments. So then we get a little montage of everyone gathering their own makeshift instruments. Cat gets a washboard, Emily gets a bucket, and what I think is supposed to be a broom handle, which she is gonna fashion into like a single-stringed instrument later.
I was like, oh, she'll drum it, and then, oh, it's a totally different thing.
That's what I thought too! And then suddenly she just has a string, and it's a stringed instrument. Yeah. Hen discovers that she can clink glasses of water to make a kind of xylophone when Duck slams 2 metal trash can lids together like cymbals. And then Owl just shows up out of nowhere with, like, a whole instrument.
My favorite thing is that he takes the longest, even though they're all, like, constructing their own, and he just has one.
Yeah. And I know that we actually both thought that it was a lute at first, or, like, a lyre or something. But
yeah.
I have a note on this later that we'll get to.
Oh, shit, not even yet.
Yeah. Band practice starts off terribly because everyone is out of rhythm with each other. Little Bear remembers that his dad counted to start, and Duck expresses confusion about counting, which is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, she was able to count 3 ducklings in the previous story, so what the fuck, basically.
The trauma of losing track of one of her siblings temporarily erased the ability to count from her head because it's associated with that moment.
Little Bear just assures Duck that he'll do the counting. Practice goes a little better, but then Owl stops them when Emily's bow keeps poking him in the head. She abandons the bow and decides to just pluck the single string instead. And did you know, actually, that a lot of these instruments they're playing are common in the American rural South?
I only the washboard. I was like, I've seen that, but no, nothing else.
Yeah, so Kat has a washboard, which is used in Zydeco music from Louisiana, among other genres. And Emily is effectively playing what is called a diddley bow, which is a single-stringed instrument used in blues music from the Deep South.
I've heard of a guy named Bo Diddley, who I would assume is named after that.
Oh, I have no idea.
My mom just randomly says that guy's name sometimes, I think.
I am not familiar.
I think he's probably a musician. Do you mind if I look
Yeah,
this?
look
Thank
it up.
you.
Tell me what you find.
All right. Well, first I gotta get rid of my mime tab. Ellis Otha Bates, known professionally as Bo Diddley, was an American guitarist and singer who played a key role in the transition from the blues to rock and roll.
So maybe it is from it, because it's blues.
Yeah!
Oh, that is so interesting.
That's sick!
That's awesome. But yeah, I find all of this interesting because actually in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the Covey's music is based on folk music from the Appalachian region, which does have some overlap with what's considered the Deep South in America. And the bluegrass music that the Covey music is based on also features mandolins, which is what I think Owl is playing.
That's what that is. I did not even realize that.
Yeah, so I wonder, like, is Suzanne Collins just really into folk music?
Right? I guess it has, like as a symbol, it's like, I don't know, I feel like folk music is often associated with, like, anti-government or, like that, was it Woody Guthrie or Arlo Guthrie who has the guitar that says, "This machine kills fascists" on it?
Yeah, I
don't know. There's a guitar out there somewhere. Wild story.
Hey, it's editing, Oona. It was Woody Guthrie.
Yeah, she does love to create, like, fictionalified South-ish characters.
Yeah, like, she takes a lot of inspiration from the Appalachian region for Hunger Games and Songbirds and Snakes, and then from the South for Little Bear, I think. Yeah,
nice.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
The band starts up and then stops again because Duck is banging her cymbals too loudly. She says she can play softly, and they finally get through their song. They agree they sound good, and Little Bear suggests they play at his grandparents' party tonight.
They just made a band, and immediately he's like, okay, we're gonna go play a party for free. Really speed running the trajectory.
Yeah, you just joined a band.
I did.
How accurate is Little Bear's band?
It's accurate that they're, like, making their own parts and that it's hard for them to play in time. What's not accurate is that they all just kind of, I mean, we don't see the full process, but they just kind of go from, like, playing discordantly to magically playing together.
Exactly.
We have to keep pausing and sitting down, and Karen's like, Nate, can you hit those drums? I do get asked to hit the drums more loudly or more softly sometimes.
Nice.
So that's accurate.
You just like Duck for real. Cut to the party where Raccoon is dismantling the record player in an attempt to fix it. When he thinks he's gotten it fixed, he cranks it up, but it starts to rattle, so he jumps on top of it. He tries again and thinks he's gotten it for real, and it sounds like it's working, but after a moment, it bursts apart again. Raccoon picks up a little gear thingy and says, maybe this piece was important.
I just like that this episode suddenly becomes like, Raccoon creates an IED.
I also like how Mother Bear was like, Raccoon's good at fixing things, and that's just like a lie.
Yeah. Raccoon's the only person we know who will attempt to fix things, would maybe be more accurate.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Just as Grandmother and Grandfather Bear are consigning themselves to not having any dancing at their party, Little Bear's band appears, playing their song. He wishes them a happy golden anniversary, and Grandmother Bear thanks him. The episode ends with everyone dancing happily. It's really cute.
Yeah. Just a nice, after kind of the stress of last episode, it's nice to have one where, like, the conflict isn't super big.
Right.
And it's just a nice moment for Little Bear and his friends.
Yeah, there's not as much stakes as with the duck babysitter story.
Yeah. It's like they've been married for 50 years. This night will probably not change things.
But it's so special.
Yeah.
It's the 50th anniversary.
Oh, right.
It's a golden anniversary. Yeah, I like how Grandmother and Grandfather Bear are just, like, ready to be like, well, it's okay. It's a party without music.
Yeah.
But they're, like, fine with that. They're chill. I think they probably have the perspective that you do as like, that's not going to change anything. We're still together and in love. And then Little Bear just comes in and like saves the day. And it's a nice little surprise.
Yeah. And also, I think one of the ways you can tell that this show is for a kid's point of view is that the kids band comes in and it's like actually good instead of like a disaster. And the parents are all like, that's great, sweetie.
Right. I was thinking like me and my friends used to do this when we were little, or like me and my cousins would like put on a show or play music with whatever we could find. And we honestly sounded like complete trash. Or I assume that we must have sounded like complete trash, but we thought we were the shit.
Yeah, classic. I mean, when Little Bear's band was like just starting and they were all playing discordantly, I was like, okay, this could be like a Velvet Underground thing.
This is like some indie shit.
Yeah.
This is some like deep cuts on SoundCloud.
Really just get them all like slightly cooler clothes.
Yeah, they could pull it off.
Sad boy Little Bear.
Emo rapper Little Bear.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much for joining me, Nate.
Yeah, it was good to be here.
Next week's episode will cover the last story in episode 10, Hop Frog Pond. Don't forget to drop your questions and theories in the comments. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy April Fool's Day.
Happy April Fool's Day.